2-0. Here's Nick Nurse.
Hello there. I know you haven't had a chance to watch the film or watch it closely, but when you see them bottling Fred and Kyle up to the tune of, I think, 2 for 17 from three-point range, what are you seeing that you're getting from them? Are they good shots? Are they forced into bad positions? How do you explain that kind of number?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta look at it, Doug, like you said. But I think there's a good share of them, Doug, just from kind of live action memory. I think there's a good share of them that are really good. I'm not saying all. What was there, 20 of them between the two of them?
Something like 18 or 20, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying all of them were.
10 on the shot clock. Had it back tapped, he lost it. The Nuggets come up with a defensive play. Murray, they missed the layup. Gobert got it. Mitchell hanging at the other end. 2 seconds to go for the win, and it rims out. Denver hangs on. Final score.
Oh, so close. The Denver Nuggets, their third Game 7 in the last 2 years, and they advance a marathon of a series, 80-78, the final score in Game 7. Grant, I feel like that's a throwback to your era as far as playoff scores are concerned. What an incredible defensive effort from both teams, and they also seemed like they were both exhausted in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, they were definitely exhausted, and finally, some defense was played in this series. But just even with the score being low, particularly down the stretch, the finish was just incredible. Both teams left it all out there on the floor. And you got to tip your hat to Denver. They made the right plays, and, Jokic was huge down the stretch. But I tell you, just an incredible series, just great plays, great performances. And then, of course, a great kind of weird, odd finish, but certainly fitting of this series. And so congrats to Denver, Utah. They could have very easily advanced if Conley shot it going in there. Things could have been different. But this is playoff basketball, whether, you're in Salt Lake or in Denver or in the bubble. You get this kind of performance. And, we were all treated to something really special here between these two teams.
Caron, early in the series, or most of the series, we had incredible performances from the guards. It was Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray, 50-point games, 40-point games, 0 turnover games. But tonight it was again a throwback to the big men. Rudy Gobert, 19 points, 18 rebounds. The Joker, 30 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists. They took charge where it mattered most.
Yeah, I think that both coaches probably just went in the locker room and, Grant, this as a former player as well, where, you just got to win your matchup. And I think that Gobert took that personal. Clearly, Joker took it personal as well. And, he really just was dominant down the stretch when you're talking about Joker. And he just had a little more in the tank when was needed, get quality buckets down the stretch. And look, Donovan Mitchell was doing it all. Struggled with early foul trouble in the first half, was able to have his fingerprints all over the game. And look, you got to give a ton of credit to the Utah Jazz. I don't know if it was Murray just missing shots, but the adjustments defensively, he had a lot of activity around him when he was coming off pick and rolls and all of those things. But, granted, Denver Nuggets found some way with enough gas in the tank to get a quality win.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe that they had that 14-point lead at halftime, and it was tied 70-70, 74-74, then 78-78 before Denver pulled out the victory. Let's go back to that final minute of the fourth quarter and just how incredible it was. Mike Conley was struggling 2 for 13 from the field, but Rudy Gobert, again, thought he was hit in the face. That would prove to be the final bucket for Utah. And then the Joker, Caron, he can create his own shot. We talked about, can you get me a bucket, guys? He looked good there.
Yeah, sometimes they say your best defense is your offense. The Joker definitely did that. But this, for the life of me, I do not understand why Denver, even though in transition with time remaining on the clock, did not pull that last possession out, because that could have really cost them.
Let's look at it again. Grant, what do you see?
Yeah, Caron's right. You got to pull it out right here. Clock is your friend. You just don't want to get fouled. And you got to understand time and score in the situation. Denver, as great as they've been this whole series and in this game, they're lucky because that bad decision could have sent them home. And that man right there, Donovan Mitchell, I know he's just, so frustrated right now, but he got to, keep his head up high. He was sensational, really, just truly remarkable. But time and score down the stretch, you got to understand. In that case, Denver got a little lucky there, I think, with the outcome.
Donovan Mitchell, 22 points, 9 rebounds, 9 for 22 from the field, also 9 turnovers. Let's go to Mike Malone, head coach of the Denver Nuggets.
We were in 2 of those games last year. We went 1-1, and we were able to somehow survive a very poor offensive night with stellar defense. And thank goodness Mike Conley didn't make that last shot. But the guys are excited. We know we have a tremendous challenge in front of us in the LA Clippers. And the last thing, what I want to say is I have a lot of respect for the Utah Jazz. I have a lot of respect for Quinn Snyder and the job that he does, his players. This is such a weird environment. We see them every day. We're across the hall from each other. We were coming out of shoot-around this morning. They were coming in. So unlike any other Game 7 in NBA history, but the respect between our organizations is there. And I just want to give them a shout-out because they are a class act, and they're going to be a great team for many years to come.
All right, next we'll go to TJ McBride. TJ, go ahead.
Along the lines of all the great played tonight, how much credit do you give to Gary Harris for being able to show him what he did after not playing for so long?
Yeah, it's funny. Some people, TJ, can look at this box score and say, Gary Harris struggled. He was 1 of 9 from the field. But Gary Harris, we don't win this game without Gary. Obviously, we only scored 30 points in the second half, but our defense was phenomenal, and Gary was a big part of that. Even late in the game, they call a timeout. He forced them to call their last timeout and denying Donovan Mitchell the ball. Gary, his offense is going to come in this next series. That's the next step in terms of getting back to use playing. But his defense, his containment, his one-on-one pride is outstanding, and that's why he's such a big part of our team for the last 5 years.
All right, next we'll go to Harrison Wind. Harrison, go ahead.
Hey, Michael, obviously Jamal goes down in the first half. I mean, could you get a feel for how much he was hurting throughout the rest of the game?
Yeah, I'm sure he was sore. I don't think it was anything major, Harrison.